Bapak Ibu, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ya, saya Ivan Habibillah. Tadi sempat join melalui Zoom. Mohon maaf tadi masih di perjalanan. Sekarang udah nyampe di sini. Nah, terima kasih Pak Lala serta tadi Pak Ayus sempat ngobrol sedikit. Saya dari ICCCM, International Cultural Communication Center Malaysia. Tadi sudah saya sampaikan bahwa secara fungsi kami ini sebagai jembatan. So our function is more like a bridge that connect Indonesian institution to have a collaboration with the foreign institution as well. Jadi pada prinsipnya kami ini memang memposisikan diri sebagai jembatan saja Bapak Ibu. Jembatan biasanya yang menghubungkan walaupun diinjak-injak aman Bu. Ya. Dan biasanya sekarang jembatan ya jarang yang membayar untuk kontribusinya itu. Prof Nuh membuat satu perumpamaan semacam itu. Namun berbagai program ini tentu ada yang memang ada yang memunculkan biaya tapi murni kepada beberapa pos-pos saja seperti itu. Kemarin tapi tadi disampaikan Pak Lala juga bahwa kita mainly our headquarter is in KL di Kuala Lumpur, sehingga kami di sini memang menggunakan nama International Cultural Communication Center Malaysia. Jadi Bapak Ibu yang mau nanti signing dengan kami, berarti nanti signingnya dengan pimpinan kami di Malaysia. Jadi ini tergolong sebagai international collaboration. Jadi mohon nanti setelah ini mohon izin saya akan nanti bisa ngobrol satu persatu setelah sesi. Nanti saya mungkin bisa share business card atau kartu nama saya, mohon izin nanti barangkali ada yang memang berkeinginan untuk berkolaborasi dengan kami. Demikian, Matthew sudah siap. Kali ini memang saya berkesempatan untuk menghadirkan dua partner saya yang luar biasa ini, Matthew, terus juga Bu Lina. Bu Lina seorang diaspora. Beliau asli dari Bandung, lulusan UPI juga, sama kayak Pak Lala, Universitas Padal IKIP. Dan beliau ini lama di Jepang sebelumnya. Mirip-mirip ya Bu ya. Beliau lama di Jepang, lalu sekarang di Vancouver, Kanada. Beliau sudah berkewarganegaraan Kanada. Bahkan ya itu kemarin ada Kabur Raja dulu itu sempat, ayo kita bikin program. Mohon maaf ya Ibu ya, bukan berarti tidak nasionalis, tapi kita masih memikirkan bagaimana kita kontribusi ke Indonesia masih tetap. Nah seperti beliau ini Bu. Jadi Matthew juga pernah di Jepang, how many years? 25 years Bu, di Jepang malah 25 tahun. Karena beliau dulu menjabat sebagai director dari Fulbright program. Jadi kalau Bapak Ibu nanti pengen tahu Fulbright pun ya beliau ini sudah 25 tahun di sana. Tapi pada prinsipnya saya alhamdulillah menghadirkan Matt karena memang nanti ada acara di Surabaya dan Makassar. Alhamdulillah bisa ketemu Bapak Ibu semua di sini. Matthew, thank you for coming. Of course that please try to do your best. This is a very great occasion for you to share about your expertise as well. Thank you. Take your time please.
Okay. Thank you, Pak Ivan. Hello, everyone. Nama saya Matt. Apa kabar? So thank you very much for having me here today. Terima kasih. I'm honored to be here today. You're the first visit of my trip here. So Pak Ivan and Lina said we have to go right here to the university. So it's my first time in Cirebon and to see the beautiful mountain in the background. So thank you very much for inviting me here and all of us to have kind of an interesting discussion about AI. And I think as Pa Ivan just introduced me, I'm working with a startup company now in California using AI for speaking practice. I started my career as an English teacher in Japan. I went there for 1 year and I thought it was just 1 year contract and I'll go back to my life in the United States. I stayed in Japan for 25 years. That wasn't my plan, but that's just what happened. And so I was an English teacher. I worked in a Japanese company, and I worked in study abroad. I sent many Japanese students to Canada and Australia, New Zealand, and the US, England. And then I worked in the Fulbright program giving students scholarships. And in my career, I noticed a big influence for students who could speak English confidently. If students could speak English confidently, so many doors would open. Scholarship doors, job doors, interesting opportunities, all kinds of volunteer experiences, and the Olympics, and so many wonderful opportunities. But if they were a little bit shy, then unfortunately some of those opportunities wouldn't be possible. So I thought, what if more students could practice speaking English and build up their confidence? And that's the idea of FlowSpeak. So I'd like to share with you a presentation that I've been doing recently for different conferences in the United States for the English language field, and I did it online as well for some teachers, some English teachers in Kenya. So this is a new area, right? We're all thinking about AI. How do we use it in our class? And there's a lot of different ways to do it. My particular focus is on speaking, because I think speaking really can propel students to successful outcomes. And I think it makes their opportunities brighter, and I think it makes for a better world. So if you could go on to the next slide, please. Okay, so what is AI speaking technology? We know about AI, and we know what speaking is, but have you thought about AI speaking technology? Does anybody know what it is? Elsa Speak. Okay, Elsa Speak is an example. Yeah, thank you. Have you used it? Yes. So what is AI speaking if we have to explain it to other people? Okay, no problem. Okay. Yeah, even in the US, this is a new idea. People think of AI for writing, or correct my grammar, or help me find research, but not so much for speaking. So let's think about that. Okay, next one. So AI speaking refers to the combination of AI technologies like speech recognition, natural language processing, and real-time feedback systems designed to simulate conversation, analyze speech, and give learners personalized feedback to improve their speaking abilities, said ChatGPT. Okay, next one, please. In other words, this is really amazing, right? That was a lot of words on the page, but this is really amazing. It's a huge breakthrough. It's going to completely change the way students learn English. The way, my generation learned English and the next generation is going to be totally different because of this new technology. And we've been waiting for this for at least 200 years, whenever we've been learning English. So it's a completely different new world now. Okay, so when we think about AI, sometimes we hear really exciting things about it. Like, wow, this is going to change the world. It's going to be amazing. It's going to take us to Mars, and it's going to help us think for ourselves. And we don't have to work anymore. Wow, that sounds great. So there's some really over-the-top, very exciting ways of using AI, right? But then there's the opposite, too. Oh, AI is going to destroy us. It's going to be the worst thing for humanity. So we hear both sides, and we're kind of in the middle. We're like, what does this really mean, right? It's hard to make sense of it. And I think the truth is that we don't know yet. We don't know yet. We haven't used it to the full capacity yet. We're still learning as we go. People can create the technology, but it's up to human beings to decide how to use it, especially teachers. But the way I think about it is not think so much about either, too positive or too negative. Just think about what it is today. As teachers, as I'm speaking as an English teacher, like what is it today? And for me, it's a tool. It's just a tool. And if you think it's just a tool, then it's not too romantic, and it's not too scary. It's just something we can use, just like if you're using a calculator or playing music or playing a sport. It's just what you do to do that activity. So if we think of it as a tool, it's more practical. So one is my class time is limited. You know, if you have a class of 15 minutes and you do a lot of activities, maybe each student gets to speak 2 or 3 minutes. This is not enough time, right? Not enough time. After class, it's hard to find people to speak with. Maybe you have like an English club on campus or something and students talk to each other, but it's hard to keep that going for a long time. When you're a teacher in the classroom, it's hard to give every student feedback. One, because it takes time, but two, it's very personal, right? So if you give writing feedback, students are like, oh, my grammar's not so good, or spelling, everybody's like, okay, okay. But if you give pronunciation feedback, people take it personal. Oh no, my pronunciation is bad, it makes you nervous. It's like part of your personality. Speaking is like who you are, right? So people take it personally. If you didn't say it right, you're like, I didn't understand. Then you think, oh no, I didn't students are already using it. But that's a free tool, right? So that's one way to do it. All right, next one. Okay, Elsa Speak. Elsa Speak is another one, just one of many tools that are out there. Elsa Speak focuses on pronunciation. So when you learn a few words, then it will tell you what you said correctly and incorrectly and give you instant feedback. So it focuses on that. Okay, so next one, I want to talk about my favorite, which is Flow Speak. So Flow Speak focuses on conversation. Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, because people are online, right? Okay. Right? Okay. Flow Speak focuses on conversation. So you can go back and forth with it, and it'll talk to you. It'll tell you in class. I can speak to it. It'll give me an instant score, and then I can get feedback. This feedback can also be translated into 130 languages. So it's a way to go back and forth and have a conversation from your phone. You can also listen to yourself. So it becomes like a speaking practice partner. Flowspeak has all of these short lessons, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and it could be talking to a patient or talking to a customer or making a new friend. So a variety of different speaking lessons. We have about 1,200 lessons. Has anybody tried Flowspeak yet? Yes? Yes? Okay. 2 days ago. So what was it like? Yeah. Oh, Gary. Okay. Okay. Okay, great. And was the feedback helpful?
Yeah, they it gives me how to make correct expressions in a simple way.
Right. Great. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so I think I don't have anything else after that. I think that's the last one. Is that the last slide? Oh, okay, yeah. So one other thing I wanted to share with you, and I was talking with this gentleman about, is that was the student side, so you have a conversation. But as a former English teacher myself, I want FlowSpeak to be a tool that teachers can use also, right? These other ones like Elsa Speak and Bold Voice, those are just for self-learning that you download. But we actually made FlowSpeak to be a tool for teachers. And the way it's a tool for teachers is you can see the data of your students. So you can see this is a student, Maria, and you can see what lesson she's finishing, if she completed the lesson, how many minutes she spent on it, how many retries she did, and what score she got. You can even click on it and see, you can actually see her record or listen to her recordings as well. So my idea is that the best way for students to improve, at least for speaking, is the combination of a teacher plus the AI, right? Some teachers worry like, oh no, is this going to replace me? But I don't think that's what's going to happen. Again, it's a tool. It's a tool. So when I was younger, I took piano lessons, and the teacher I would have the lesson with the teacher, and the teacher would say, go home and practice. And you do it over and over and over again, and then you get better. And the next week you go back to your teacher, and you can see how much progress you made. Did your score go up? Are you getting better scores? So it's a tool, right, for more practice. And looking at the data, then you can see how your students are doing. Are they doing their homework? What scores are they getting on the AI? What areas do they have trouble with? And you can adjust your class to help them. So that's the dashboard for teachers. So Flow has two big differences. One is we're conversation focused, and also we want to partner with teachers, because teachers plus AI, I think, is the winning combination. And I didn't invent that. That's actually being talked about in English conferences that I go to in different areas. That's how people are looking at this new tool. I recently wrote an article in the Modern English Teacher that talks about this. So if you'd like to read more about this or understand a little bit more, you can even give it to your students to say, read this and let's have a class discussion. Feel free to download it. It's on our website. Okay, next one, please. This is me. Not that guy. There's like 2 Matts in the room. And that's my LinkedIn profile so we can stay connected. So next, I'd like to do maybe like I guess we could do like a little workshop. So let's switch over to the FlowSpeak app. Can you do that? So maybe we can do a little workshop. For example, if you were doing a lesson about taking a vacation with your students, right? How would you set that up? How do we combine like an AI lesson with a class lesson? Now, this can be just a self-learning tool, but it can also be something that you use in class. And different schools use it in different ways. But one way might be to have like a lesson about taking a vacation, right? So let's get into teams of like 4 people, and you can become a team. And well, first, let's just think about vocabulary. Like, what kind of vocabulary comes to mind when you think about vacation? Anybody? You guys get to be the students, and I'll be the teacher. Okay, so think about what kind of vocabulary. Destination, that's a really good word. Okay, yeah, destination, yeah. Anything else? Anybody else? Vocabulary about travel, yeah? Nice weather. Okay, so you think about the weather. What else about vacation? Transportation, yeah. How do you get to your vacation? Okay, yeah. Anything else? Budget, right? Okay, so then you can have like a kind of a class discussion about the vocabulary. You could write that vocabulary on the board. Then you could put the students into groups and to say, okay, where would you like to take a vacation? And they can get into groups of 3 or 4, and then report out, come to the front of class and kind of discuss that together, right? That kind of formula. And then you could go into the Flow library. I don't know, is this a touch screen? Anyway, you could go into the library, and we have a course. Yeah, if you could press that. And you could go to courses. And if we go down, you should be able to find one on vacation here. And you could click that. Okay, and then we go back to the home page, and you can see some different lessons about travel, right? So you talk about it in class, you have group work, you have groups come to the front and present on it, and then you could say, okay, your homework is I want you to do 1 lesson tonight, 1 lesson tomorrow, and they can practice it. And then you can see if they did the homework. I don't know about you, when you give like students homework, like read this article or watch this video, you can ask the student, did you do your homework? And the students will say, yeah, I did. And you're like, did you really do it? You know, you don't know if they did it, right? But with AI now and with data, you can see how many minutes they spent on it, how many times they did the retry. So there's a lot more that I could talk about. But for example, there's a direct correlation, so a direct connection between how many times you retry the lesson and the final score. It makes sense, right? The first time you do one of these lessons, maybe the student only gets 50%. They do it again, they get 60%. They do it again, they get 67%. They do it again, and they get 75%. So this is like a new methodology. It's not a mystery, right? It's just like more practice, you get better and better at anything you do. That's what it means to be a human being, right? But in English, we didn't have a tool like this before. So students, they would try to say something, and it doesn't go well, and they think, oh, I'm not good at English. I'm not good at Bahasa. I'm not good at Japanese. So then they don't want to talk anymore. But that's not the right mindset. We need to think of language just like any other skill. If you're cooking, playing music, or learning math, that you just have to do it over and over again until you get more familiar with it. And it's the same for language. So you can do these lessons over and over and over again. And the scores will start to show, and you can see how many times your students get better at it. So you could do these lessons, packing for a trip and confirmation number, and then that connects with what they're learning in class with what they can do for homework. Another really good practice is we have this system where you have confidence level points, and as you finish lessons, you get more and more points, and you can earn badges. So you could have in your classroom, if for 1 semester, you could have a leaderboard in class. And you could have student 1, student 2, student 3, student 4. These are the top students. You don't even have to say anything. If you just put that on the board, the students are going to notice. And they're going to say, oh, wow, she's number 1. He's number 2. I want to get on that board. So they notice those kinds of things. So one of the things is, okay, use it as a practice tool. But another thing is also, how do we motivate students to keep them interested? Because either you make it part of the grade or extra credit, or you have some kind of prize. So we have a teacher that taught online with some students in Turkey, and she would give them stickers and prizes for getting high scores. So that's a quick explanation of FlowSpeak. We also have an assessment tool that I was just describing before, and this is just a 10-minute test that will give you an instant CEFR level. Does everyone know what the CEFR is? Yeah, right? Right, like an A2 or a B1 or a C1, right? And maybe you have some goals in your program. You're like, we want all of our students to get to B1, or we want our students to get to B2 and get more scholarships or go on to further education or get better jobs, right? So this is a way to measure that. The IELTS test and the TOEFL test are really expensive, and they take a lot of time, and you have to make a reservation in advance, and you get the results like 1 month later. So when you take a high stakes test, people usually only do it 1 time a year, right? Or maybe 1 time every 2 years. But with a low stakes test, you can do it every month. And you can track their progress of, are they getting closer to B1? Are they getting closer to B2? And so you can measure that. So that's another item that's in FlowSpeak. Okay, so that's a quick introduction. What do you think? Do you think you learned a little bit about AI speaking technology? Yeah? Did it make you a little bit curious? Yeah. Oh, good, good. I'm glad to hear that. So any questions? Yeah? Oh, great.
Thank you very much for your explanation. I'm so interested in using this one. Maybe after this I want to practice, and I have already downloaded the application in my phone.
Yeah.
Right now.
Great, great.
It's something new for me. And my question is about accessible. Is there any payment, or is it good for me to use this one or no?
Yeah, thank you for the question, and thank you for downloading it right away. All right. A man of action.
Because I'm so curious.
Yeah, we have a 2-tier system. We have a free community tier. So our mission statement is that everyone deserves a voice. So I think my responsibility as a CEO of a new company is that I want to make this technology available to learners around the world equally and fairly as possible. So we do have a free tier. And learners can do 5 lessons the first week and 2 lessons for each week after that with basic feedback. The premium version is $7.50 for an individual per month, or for a year, $55. But if a university makes a purchase, then we give a big discount, almost about half. And then you could say, okay, we need 100 accounts or 200 accounts, and the accounts belong to the university. So you can decide who gets the accounts, and you can change them when you want. So there's 2 models. You can buy it as an individual, or you can buy it as an organization. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay.
They can check the progress of their students.
Yeah, so we don't charge for the teacher dashboard. And usually with like an organizational account, we give some free teacher accounts so that you can monitor your students. Teachers, the teacher dashboard and the data, there's no charge for that. We also put like the organization logo in the app as well.
There's this application giving position to the teacher to know the progress of their student.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So there was there's a screen with the data, and that's, yeah, so that's what we call like the back end. The front side is the learning side. The back end side is where all the data is. And yes, a teacher can keep track of all the students and see what lessons they're finishing and what scores they're getting. Yeah? Any other questions? Yes?
It's very interesting actually because involving AI in speaking lessons for students is very interesting. And it's one of my interests actually that I'm currently writing on my research work. It looks handy because it also provides about the level of confidence of students who can write.
Right.
And I'm listening about the speaking anxiety. This is one of my interests actually.
Right.
Is there any menu that can track the speaking anxiety of
That's interesting.
students?
Yeah, that's interesting to think about. I'm not quite sure how that would be measured. Maybe some kind of input from the learner saying, how do you feel about this? We did have at the end of the lesson, do you like the lesson or not? And they can give a rating to it. That could also possibly be like an anxiety type of scale, like how comfortable do you feel with this lesson? We haven't built that, but that's something that that kind of feedback could be possible. And that's a really interesting idea, like, yeah, how nervous do you feel about that? We work with students, around the world, and the U.S. has a lot of people coming there, and maybe this first time to learn English, and some of the students, it's very scary, to speak English and to feel comfortable with it, and don't want to have other people listen. So we've seen with this type of technology that students feel very comfortable. There's a school in Los Angeles that had a lot of new arrivals, newcomers to the United States, and one of the students was very, very quiet, would never talk in class. And when the school started using FlowSpeak, that student did the most lessons. So the teacher was very surprised because the teacher was like, I can't connect with the student. I don't know if this is helping her or not. This was an adult group of students. But she felt very comfortable using Flow privately on her own without having other students in the class listen to them. And I think when the age gets, it's true for adults, but as the age gets younger and younger, I think the anxiety probably goes up more because, just being a teenager is hard enough already. If you have your friends listening to you, then maybe you feel a little bit embarrassed. Yeah, I think it's a great question. I don't know of any apps that measure that, but that's something I'll think about. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
You have shown how ChatGPT responded to your questions. Can you give me the simulations of how Flow give the feedback?
Yeah. Thank you. That's a good question. So usually I do it myself here, but the computer's over there. I'll do it on my phone. So yeah, let me get this up. So I have the Flow app on my phone, and it looks just like this, but it's on the phone, right? So maybe I pick a lesson like an AI talk lesson. We have different types of lessons, but let me. Okay, so this one is about working out. Oh, my account, oops. Okay. So this lesson says, gonna start working out. Talk to your fitness coach, Camilla, about starting to work out. Okay, you made it. I'm pumped up to get started. Success is progress in strength and endurance over time. So I can say, I'm excited to work out, but I haven't gone to the gym in a long time. So I can speak to it. I tap, speak, tap, and then with a good internet connection, it only takes a couple seconds, just like the ChatGPT description. You can see It's probably hard to see, but you can see my voice is converted into text. It's recorded. So I can listen to myself, and then the lesson will give me like a feedback. So it said good there. You can see like it says good right here in the corner. So if I press that, then the score will pop up. And it looks like I got a 68%. So that wasn't a very good response. So it says the fluency says the response is clear but not complex. Adding more detail would improve fluency. An example, I'm really excited to start working out again after a long break. It says that would be better. And then it gives me an example response. So adding a little more detail or asking a question to the other person. So I can do that over and over again. And then the AI will respond to what I said. So it says, that's awesome. Let's track your workouts, strength gains, and how you feel each week. We got this. Okay. So then I can have the conversation going back and forth. On the computer or on like an Android phone, that you can hear the voice of the AI. So that's an example of one of the interactions. There's another one. Let me try to find another one. Like asking someone's opinion. This one is actually scripted, so we can listen to it.
While the pandemic is going on.
Okay, so it says discuss traveling internationally while the pandemic is going on.
Hey, what's your opinion on visiting other countries during the pandemic?
So this is obviously a lesson from a while ago. So this is, what's your opinion? Well, traveling during the pandemic was a scary time. There were a lot of safety precautions in place. So I speak, and then you can see it's checking it right here. You can see it's like, okay, it already, well, it's still working. You can see it's analyzing the grammar, and it's about to check my voice. It's a little hard to see on a small phone. But okay, so it caught my voice. Well, traveling during the pandemic was a scary time. There were a lot of safety precautions in place. Okay. Now, if you're not sure what to say, there's also a button that says see examples, so I can press on the examples and it'll show me those. I can listen to them also, and I could copy those.
Just stay at home and chill for a while. We can all go visit places next year.
So I could listen to one of the examples, and then it'll give me a score. This time I got it excellent, so maybe I'm speaking English better now. So it says, so you can see here it gives me a breakdown for fluency, relevance, vocabulary. You can see a lot of detail on the screen there after I spoke. Yeah? And when I press on those, I can even press on each word, and it will give me like a breakdown of the sound of the word by color. If I didn't say it clearly, it would turn yellow or red. So there's a lot of detail. So when you do download the app, you can click around and see that. The detailed feedback is actually a premium feature, but you can see some of the basic interaction of the lesson, of how it works. Okay?
Does it provide persons mispronounce, does it mispronounce how to pronounce correctly?
Right. That's a good question. So yeah, does it show you how to pronounce it correctly? So actually, FlowSpeak focuses on conversation. There is a pronunciation feedback, but our main focus isn't pronunciation. It's actually building up confidence. So there's other apps like Elsa that focuses on pronunciation. So if you really think your students need to focus on that, that's one area. But my personal opinion for students is first they have to learn how to have a conversation. Then the next step is worrying about pronunciation. You can still have an accent and not have perfect pronunciation and still have a good conversation, be a good communicator. But the opposite's not true. You have to have the conversation skill first. But in the lessons, there are examples. So you could listen to the example and then copy the example and then repeat that and see how well you do. And the pronunciation breakdown will show you the colors of whether it was clear or not. Yeah, great, good questions. Okay. Okay, any other questions? Yes?
Does it rely on the prompts or it is automatically generated when the students want to get feedback?
So after you speak, it automatically generates the feedback. Yes, every time. And in the teacher dashboard for the test as well, for the assessment, you see all the details. So in the lesson, in the teacher dashboard, you get a final summary score, and then you can see even more detail for each response as well, and the recordings. Yeah. So it's quite remarkable. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks handy because compared to other applications, everything depends on the prompts, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it's automatically generated, it will be very handy.
Right. Yeah, and we've created over 1,000 lessons for all these different scenarios. So ChatGPT is a great tool. It's free, but the thing is, it's blank. It's a blank slate. So you have to tell it what you want to talk to. You have to tell it, give me feedback. So you have to think of everything you want to talk about. With FlowSpeak, it's already created. You already have all the detailed feedback there every time you speak. And we have the dashboard for teachers to check the progress. So with ChatGPT, they don't have a teacher dashboard. So teachers, you won't know if your students did it or not. You have to ask them, just like they read an article or a book, did you do your homework? And they'll say, yeah, I did, but you don't know if they really did it or not. But it's a good tool. It's a good tool. Okay. Thank you for your questions. Any other last questions? No? Okay, I brought some stickers as a prize because you guys were all good students. And teachers like to give out prizes to good students. Pass these around, especially to the students who ask the questions. So who asked the questions? You did, sir. You definitely do one. You did too. Help us be. Okay. Who else was a good student? You're a good student. Okay, you're a good student. All right. Okay, I have to make sure your consistency. So I'm not. Thank you. Oh, you said transportation. Okay. Okay. You asked 2 questions. All right, so you're a good student too. Okay, anybody else really want a sticker? I've got extras. Yes. These are powerful. This is how you can motivate your students. Yeah, my pleasure. Okay. So thank you everyone. It's a pleasure meeting you all. If you have any follow-up questions, feel free to contact me. If you want to use Fluency at your university, you want to hear a little bit more about it, feel free to reach out to me. We can talk some more about it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Matt. So we can say that our student for using FlowSpeak AI is friendly for our students, Mr. Matt. And for the next sessions, we are going to Ibu Lina sessions. Yes. Ibu Lina want to speak Indonesian or English? Okay.
I'm your student, so I will speak in Indonesian.
Is it okay? Baik, kita lanjutkan untuk sesi Ibu Lina. Ibu Lina adalah International Director of Global Academic Partnership, Immigration Consultant, dan juga Educator. Ibu Lina tinggal dari Kanazawa, Jepang, tapi asli Indonesia ya Bu Lina ya, asli Bandung tepatnya. Ibu Lina ingin berbicara tentang apa Ibu?
Selamat siang, sesama alumnus dari IOP. Saya 30 tahun di Kanada, tapi maaf saya cinta Sunda, logatnya logat Sunda.
Hidup Persib.
Masih logat Sunda.
Hidup Persib.
Hidup Persib. Yang saya ingin bicarakan saat ini hanya simpel. Simpel, saya hanya ingin mendukung sebagai diaspora di luar. Saya lama di Jepang, selama 12 tahun, di Kanada 30 tahun. Bisa dihitung umur saya berapa. Ya. Saya ingin hanya mendukung adik-adik di Indonesia untuk menuju globalisasi. Ya, salah satu yang ingin saya kemukakan adalah mendukung program MBKM. MBKM itu untuk 20 SKS, Pak Lala ya, 20 SKS. Jadi saya sudah memulai program ini dari timur, dari Makassar. Jadi saya mencoba membawa anak-anak yang anak didik kita 1 semester untuk internship di Jepang. Sementara ini saya di Jepang, tapi akan merambah ke negara lain untuk mengikuti program MBKM ini. Karena ini merupakan kesempatan buat adik-adik kita untuk mencoba belajar, bekerja, dan hidup di Jepang. Nah, untuk program MBKM ini seharusnya memang MOU antara perusahaan dengan institusi. Ya. Memberi kesempatan untuk anak-anak bermagang dan dibayar. Itu kan, jadi anak-anak itu kalau di Jepang mereka mempunyai kesempatan magang 1 jamnya itu 900 yen. 100 yen, ya. Nah, itu akan diberikan kepada anak-anak untuk mengikuti program selama 1 semester. Nah, tergantung dari universitasnya, apakah universitasnya di ganjil atau genap. Nah, di mana mereka akan memulai? Apakah mereka di nursing, apakah mereka di agriculture, di pertanian, itu akan ada employernya masing-masing. Kenapa saya ingin memberikan kesempatan pada anak-anak? Ini Jepang licik juga. Karena begini, kalau misalnya sudah selesai magang, nanti setelah selesai bekerja di perusahaan itu. Karena Jepang itu selalu melihat long term. Oke, jadi begitu anaknya sudah selesai, kembali ke tempat mereka magang, mereka sudah tahu karakternya, mereka sudah tahu working ethicnya seperti apa, ya. Jadi nggak ada lagi alasan tebetah, ya udah tahu kan, udah pernah merasakan. Nah itu tujuan utamanya. Itu yang saya sekarang laksanakan itu mostly di Jepang. Karena kita punya partner beberapa perusahaan untuk di Jepang. Itu program saya pertama. Program yang kedua, kalau udah lulus bagaimana, begitu kan? Ya. Nah, program kedua adalah mencari permanent employment after graduation. Nah, kebetulan saya juga ada beberapa job order. Misalnya seperti saya sedang membutuhkan 1.200 perawat di Saudi. Itu kemana saya harus cari? Saya harus mencari skill worker. Skill worker itu yang bukan tinggal di rumah seseorang kerja 24 jam, is not. Jadi kerjanya itu mereka hanya 5 jam, 40 jam berdasarkan shift. Mengapa? Karena kita sudah mau membawa masyarakat Indonesia ini menuju yang lebih bukan hanya kesannya pembantu gitu kan ya, tapi kita skill worker. Itu misalnya di Saudi, kemudian di Jepang, semua industri, dan juga saya dapat tawaran kemarin 500 di Taiwan. Karena semuanya itu sudah tidak lagi di rumah, semuanya di rumah sakit. Pertanyaannya pasti gajinya berapa gitu kan ya. Langsung kalau ada yang alumni di Taiwan itu diperkirakan sekitar 15 juta per bulan. Kemudian di Saudi sekitar 17 juta, Saudi mostly di Dubai ya. Kemudian di Jepang sekitar 20 juta. Ini belum merambah ke Eropa. Eropa akan dibayar 3.000 euro, I don't know berapa di rupiah. Tapi itu gambarannya kita harus mendorong adik-adik kita, yuk ke luar negeri, bukan kabur aja. Nah, tapi dengan adanya program dari Flow, ini sangat mendukung karena untuk alat komunikasinya kan tetap bahasa Inggris. Di Jepang untuk magang bahasa Inggris, bukan bahasa Jepang. Tapi setelah ke employment mereka harus mempunyai sertifikat N4 untuk di Jepang. Seperti itu, dengan di negara lain, beda qualification. Tapi mungkin kalau dari alumni center Pak bisa langsung hubungi saya. Karena kebetulan saya juga pegang satu perusahaan P3MI, jadi kita diresmikan oleh Departemen Tenaga Kerja untuk mengirim deploy anak-anak ini secara legal. Karena harus di-approve oleh KBRI setempat. Jadi KBRI setempat akan tahu anaknya di mana, pekerjaannya seperti apa. Mungkin ada pertanyaan singkat jelas bahasa Sunda, maaf. Kalau ada pertanyaan silakan.
Boleh Bu?
Boleh, Pak Lala ya.
Terima kasih Bu Lina ya. Ini pertemuan spesial baru 2 kali online dengan Ibu ya?
Ya Pak, 2 kali ya.
Sekarang offline alhamdulillah. Kebetulan di sini udah hadir Pak Dekan Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis, ada Pak Dr. Haji Didi Ibu di sini. Ada Pak Wakil Dekan 3 FTK, ada Pak Asep dan juga Pak Wadek FDKI, Pak Arif FDKI, ada 3 pejabat fakultas Bu. Ya. Jadi kami memang sejak terakhir ngobrol dengan Ibu itu kami langsung otret-otret nih Bu, juknis ya, juknis untuk mahasiswa kita. Kita tuh sebenarnya rencana tahun sekarang tuh ada di angka 10 orang dulu sih Bu, karena coba-coba dulu kan. Jadi kita sesuai yang Ibu sarankan akan ke daerah Kanazawa gitu Bu ya. Yes. Nah di sini tuh mungkin karena kami punya let's say 10 kuota untuk mahasiswa terbaik yang akan dikirim ke sana. Dan fakultasnya kan beda-beda Bu, kita belum ada nursing, belum ada, ya jurusan IT baru ada sih. Nanti mungkin Pak Wadeknya bisa share gitu ya, tentang alignment, semacam kurikulum alignmentnya, kalau jurusan education kemana, kalau fakultas ekonomi bisnis kira-kira akan kemana gitu. Jadi kita akan fokus untuk yang sedang kuliah, mahasiswa semester 4 ke atas Bu.
4 ke atas.
Satu lagi mungkin yang kedua itu tadi employment after graduation Bu ya. Nampaknya juga kita harus speed up barangkali dengan pusat karir. Kebetulan pusat karir lagi ke Jakarta ya, mungkin ada representatifnya hari ini. Nah, nanti mungkin juga bisa kita collab Bu untuk 2 proyek itu. Tapi memang kendala kami Bu, yaitu approval dari setnek kami, State Secretary approval itu makin susah Bu. Makin susah, dan meskipun kami menggunakan budget kami sendiri, kata memang harus tetap menggunakan setnek approval. Kalau kawan-kawan yang universitas swasta diuntungkan karena nggak pakai uang negara gitu ya. Nah ketika kami punya uang sendiri pun bukan uang negara, jadi mungkin ada beberapa hal teknis Bu yang harus diklarifikasi dari pihak kami sih, terutama dari pihak kementerian gitu ya. Ketika kita udah MOU dengan companies di Jepang, kan berarti mau nggak mau proyek ini buat kami, perspektif kami harus jalan. Pak WR1 udah bilang, Palala TL aja. Ya udah kita tindak lanjuti, tapi memang kita sedang wait and see Bu, gara-gara efisiensi anggaran yang buat kami nggak jelas Bu arahnya, dan mungkin juga nanti butuh obrolan-obrolan yang lebih dalam gitu. Mungkin dari perspektif kami gitu Bu, kira-kira untuk fakultas-fakultas itu seperti apa? Kalau MOU memang langsung dengan Pak Rektor atau Pak Warek 1 atau 3, tapi nanti turunan-turunan ke bawahnya mungkin harus dengan fakultas gitu. Mungkin gambaran besarnya kira-kira untuk yang pendidikan gimana, kemarin suka udah banyak yang nanya Bu gitu. Terima kasih.
Untuk pendidikan, kebetulan di Kanazawa itu mulai berkembangnya Muslim di Jepang. Jadi saya ingin membawa dari universitas ini untuk orang Jepang untuk mendalami Islam secara mendetail. Mungkin itu yang bisa saya bawa ke Jepang sebagai di bagian pendidikan pelajaran agama untuk mereka yang lebih mendalam. Itu salah satu mungkin Pak. Kemudian yang lain mungkin di pertanian dan juga di keperawatan. Ya. Jadi kalau misalnya Pak tadi ada jatah 10 siswa, kalau saya tahu backgroundnya seperti apa, it's gonna be easier for me to match with the employer ya.
Memang 10 itu dari 5 fakultas Bu, jadi terbaik ngambil yang 2 atau ya tergantung TOEFL mereka Bu, tergantung kemauan bahasa Inggrisnya dulu kan, karena kemarin tuh diminta berapa Bu? B1 ya? B1 di atas 550.
I think intermediate ya, intermediate ya, B1 ya, B1. Ya, so bisa ke Mr. Mat, B1.
Ini Pak Asep, mangga Prof. Asep.
Terima kasih Bu. Ini tadi bahwa tawaran di Jepang itu hanya terbatas kepada keahlian keperawatan ya, kemudian juga dan pendidikan. Sementara ini karena diferensiasi di universitas kami ini sangat beragam sekali dari berbagai. Tetapi untuk hal-hal tadi yang ditawarkan Ibu, nampaknya apa mahasiswa kami harus skill dulu begitu untuk atau contoh di Fakultas Tarbiyah ini kan kependidikan, semuanya di bidang pendidikan. Kalaupun tadi ada tawaran untuk memperdalam misalnya bagi orang-orang Jepang tentang agama, itu hampir semuanya sih bisa ya untuk IAIN ini. Bukan hanya di pendidikan saja, tetapi untuk skill yang lain ini menjadi persoalan karena kita belum memiliki. Nah, kalaupun ada yang sifatnya umum, ini di manajemen ya untuk pendidikan ini. Tapi kalau kemudian nanti di Fakultas PEPI misalnya itu bisa magang di perbankan atau mungkin juga di perusahaan-perusahaan yang terkait dengan manajemen ya finance gitu ya. Baik, itu saja saya kira Bu ya. Mungkin ada yang lebih luas lagi untuk tawarannya.
Karena kalau saya kebetulan ada partner di sana, kita sebut IOI Japan. Jadi dia yang akan melihat dulu background seperti apa. Karena misalnya dari teknik kita bisa kirim mereka ke Nissan Motor, karena kita ada MOU dengan Nissan, akan kita kirim sebagai mekanik di Nissan. Kemudian untuk manajemen mostly ke sekolah-sekolah atau ke City Hall untuk manajemen. Jadi tergantung tadi yang utama ya yang saya bicarakan mengenai nursing itu karena yang paling dibutuhkan. Tapi kalau berdasarkan background mahasiswa pendidikan tersebut akan kita cari matchmaker. Perusahaan apa yang bisa menerima dengan latar belakang seperti ini, dengan pendidikan seperti ini, dengan bahasa Inggris seperti ini, akan dimasukkan ke perusahaan yang berkesinambungan. Ya. Seperti itu Pak, mungkin bisa ya. Mangga Pak.
Terima kasih, langsung saja. Berkaitan dengan fakultas yang ada di kami, Fakultas Ekonomi dan Bisnis Islam, di mana kami ada 4 prodi, yaitu yang berbasis syariah semua ini, artinya berbasis Islam. Yang pertama yaitu perbankan syariah, prodinya, kemudian ada prodi ekonomi syariah, akuntansi syariah, dan pariwisata syariah. Nah, memang di kita di Indonesia secara umum kan ada 2 kamar itu, secara konvensional dengan syariah. Oleh karena itu memang di dalam proses pembelajaran di 4 prodi yang berbasis syariah itu tetap mengenalkan juga yang konvensional. Paling tidak dengan adanya kerjasama yang baik ya, kita artinya tidak menutup kemungkinan bahwa fakultas kami yang 4 jurusan itu yang berbasis syariah bisa memahami tentang konvensional. Nah, pertanyaannya begini, barangkali di Jepang ada secara umum ekonomi yang berbasis syariah di situ. Paling tidak akan menjadi suatu sebagai pelengkap ataupun pemantapan bagi mahasiswa kami terutama, ya baik itu dalam proses pembelajaran maupun di dalam tulisan untuk penelitian riset. Itu saja barangkali. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Pak. Mengenai dengan prodi yang sudah ada di 4 prodi ini, yang saya pernah kirim itu adalah di pariwisata. Pariwisata itu kita mulai memperkenalkan pariwisata halal. Jadi untuk Kanazawa itu sedang memperkenalkan makanan halal. Kemudian semuanya serba halal. Nah itu mungkin mereka sudah mempunyai program sehingga yang magang di sana bisa mengikuti atau memberikan input ke mereka bagaimana pariwisata halal ini. Itu sudah saya pernah kirim Pak ke Kanazawa. Ya. Mungkin yang sekarang yang pernah saya kirim adalah pariwisata, kemudian untuk ekonomi mungkin, tapi perbankan mungkin saya belum bisa. Iya, ya. Seperti itu Pak. Ya.
Terima kasih.
Stiker. We need sticker, Matt. Whoever asked. Just kidding.
I don't need a sticker. I need account rekening, account bank. Oke, terima kasih.
Orang Bandung juga Stiker.
Thank you. Terima kasih. Mungkin dari FDKI ketika Ibu mengatakan kami memerlukan mahasiswa yang bisa syiar Islam juga. Ya kebetulan di FDKI memang karena FDKI itu Fakultas Dakwah dan Komunikasi Islam. Ya kami senang disebutnya FDKI bukan Fakultas Dak Komunis. Karena Fakultas Dakwah dan Komunikasi Islam, komunisnya itu komunikasi Islam. Jadi kami punya 4 jurusan. Yang pertama komunikasi dan penyiaran Islam, kemudian bimbingan konseling Islam, pengembangan masyarakat Islam, dan juga terakhir adalah sosiologi agama. Di beberapa jurusan kami ada memang yang sudah berlatar belakang calon ustadz. Ya, beberapa lulusan kami sudah menjadi kiai bahkan. Gurunya, dosennya masih alif batasa. Ya. Jadi mungkin salah satu kalau misalnya kendala bahasa mungkin ya yang kami rasakan, karena kalau kami mau melakukan sidang kompre menggunakan bahasa Inggris maupun Arab ya insya Allah yang ditanya maupun yang ditanya yang menanya juga sama-sama bingung karena yang satu menggunakan bahasa Inggris, yang satu menggunakan bahasa Sunda. Jadi apakah bahasa ini memang satu yang harus ini di Jepang gitu? Apakah mungkin misalnya kalau saya lihat di perkembangan Islam di Jepang sangat ini sekali, masjid-masjid juga banyak yang memerlukan mungkin marbot atau apa ya yang memang itu salah satu dari kompetensi dari mahasiswa FDKI. Ya, jadi mungkin kalau boleh saya PL mungkin ini kami sangat-sangat tertarik sekali. Kenapa? Karena itu menunjukkan memang karakteristik ataupun kompetensi dari mahasiswa di FDKI. Mungkin itu yang bisa ini dan kami sangat berharap sekali. Moga-moga bahasa Inggrisnya jangan 400 lah, ya 399 gitu. Masih ada diskon satu.
Sebetulnya Pak ini kabar gembira untuk fakultas ini karena kita mempunyai satu haji di sana, namanya Haji Matsui. Sudah tahu kenal. Jadi Haji Matsui itu orang Jepang yang menjadi Muslim dan dia mendukung sekali program ini. Jadi kalau untuk secara umum dia akan menjadi penerjemah, tapi kan tidak hanya untuk 1-2 kali kayak dakwah gitu kan, tapi mereka dalam sehari-hari keseharian mereka itu akan berkomunikasi mengenai aspek keagamaan. Jadi secara tidak langsung ada penerjemahnya Pak kalau untuk di Kanazawa ya. Ya, iya. Mungkin menjawab pertanyaan Pak? Ya, terima kasih Pak. Iya Bu, maaf. Enggak.
Terima kasih atas kesempatannya Bu. Saya sangat tertarik sekali dengan apa yang tadi disampaikan terkait dengan salah satunya menggabung untuk keperawatan ya Bu ya?
Iya betul.
Nah, kebetulan saya mengajar juga di kesehatan Bu, juga keperawatan. Karena itu saya ingin sekali mungkin membawa berita gembira ini ke pihak kampus ya Bu, karena memang ini merupakan hal yang sangat luar biasa gitu. Makasih Pak. Baik mungkin buat kampus maupun buat mahasiswa kami ya Bu ya. Jadi bagaimana caranya maksudnya berita baik ini saya bisa sampaikan ke kampus gitu Bu?
Untuk keperawatan sebetulnya ada 2. Kalau untuk di Jepang itu tidak harus bersertifikat, tapi dia harus mempunyai N4 bahasa Jepang. N4 kira-kira, how long we take N4? 6 months? For N4 for Japanese N4 maybe? Ya, 6 months right, 6 bulan. Jadi ada sastra Jepang Pak di sini? Belum ya? Ya, jadi kalau misalnya untuk di Jepang persyaratannya untuk mendapatkan working permit itu hanya N4, kemudian tes SSW yang tesnya dalam bahasa Inggris, hanya itu. Jadi kenapa di Jepang tidak memerlukan sertifikat? Karena walaupun sudah berpengalaman jadi perawat, dia akan di reset ke 0. Karena untuk SOP-nya biar sama semuanya. ada pelatihannya semua dari SOP, semuanya dari Jepang dari nol semuanya. Nah, tapi kalau untuk di Taiwan sama seperti di Taiwan, cuma Taiwan B1 bahasa Inggrisnya. Itu saja, tapi akan diberikan pendidikan Mandarin dasar. Karena mereka tidak bekerja di rumah, tapi mereka bekerja di rumah sakit yang sebetulnya pembantu suster lah. Ya, yang bantu kasih obat seperti itu. Jadi kalau untuk di Taiwan itu memerlukan sertifikat, CV hanya 2 itu. Dan kebetulan saya butuh banget ya bulan ini, butuh pisan, butuh pisan sebanyak-banyaknya CV. Susah, maksud saya bukan yang mendaftar langsung keterima, tapi kan maksudnya at least kita bisa memberikan, we can provide proof kalau kita punya tenaga kerjanya. Karena di Jepang itu, di Taiwan itu sekarang akan mereplace Vietnamese dengan Filipin orang Indonesia. Karena Indonesia bararager cenah. Ya. Seperti itu Bu. Ya.
Ibu mohon izin barangkali saya boleh minta mungkin kartu nama atau apa biar nanti saya
boleh nanti saya
Baik Ibu, terima kasih
atas
penjelasannya.
Ya Pak, silakan.
Ya, ini pertanyaannya hampir sama. Kebetulan saya dari sekolah dan salah satu program sekolah kami itu anak-anak mempunyai kesempatan untuk belajar langsung di sana sekitar 1 minggu atau 2 minggu. Apakah Ibu bisa membuka jalan itu agar siswa kami bisa melakukan kegiatan di sana? Kebetulan kami sekolahnya level SMP. Ya, kami ingin fokusnya ke life skill-nya.
Di Jepang ya Pak ya, kita
Ya,
bisa di Jepang.
ya.
Di Jepang biasanya kita menggunakan study tour Pak, study tour yang akan bekerja sama dengan sekolah di Jepang. Kalau misalnya kita membuat proposal ke sekolah mana akan dituju, dia akan mengadakan seperti study tour selama 10 hari. 10 hari itu tergantung dari sekolahnya Pak, sekolahnya apakah saya orang luar negeri ya. Jadi saya mendengar kalau misalnya untuk siswa itu tidak dibebankan untuk keluar negeri, tidak disarankan untuk keluar negeri. Nah itu dampaknya di Jepang seperti itu. Jadi apakah oke, tidak mau ada buntutnya. Duh bahasa saya dikit pisannya. Iya. Sudah, ya. Jadi kalau misalnya program itu sudah disetujui oleh sekolah, kemudian kita bisa bawa ke Jepang, akan merupakan program study tour. Iya, ya. Begitu Pak. Ya.
Untuk program tersebut memungkinkan anak memang ikut berkegiatan di sekolah,
betul,
bukan hanya observasi saja.
Biasanya waktu mereka juga sedang berlibur, jadi mereka akan ada kegiatan kayak summer camp. Ya. Iya, berinteraksi dengan akan dimasukkan ke summer camp mereka. Ya, di Kanada juga bisa itu Pak. Ya, nggak hanya, kejauhannya emang is too far. Kanada is too far.
Bu atau ke tim sini?
Boleh, silakan Pak. Nanti saya share nomor saya.
Oke.
Ya.
Terima kasih ya Bu.
Sama-sama Pak. Waktunya makan ya sudah selesai jadinya. Ada lagi pertanyaan last one? Yes Pak. Dari institusinya Pak ya, ya mungkin untuk magang ya, betul, ya diganjil atau digenap. Tapi kalau untuk working permit itu bisa kapan saja. Ya. durasi untuk kontrak ya, untuk magang 1 semester. Ya. Kontrak 2 tahun. Iya, 2 tahun. Ya, itu mungkin ada yang lain, Pak Lala, mungkin ada tambahan? Ya, kalau sudah tidak ada, oh ya silakan. Kembali tergantung dengan kebutuhan saya. Baik yang memerlukan ada sedikit perubahan Pak, mungkin dari beberapa tahun yang lalu kita banyak yang magang di Jepang. Tapi sebetulnya itu kenkyu-sei. Jadi dulu itu magang, tapi kan sebetulnya kan dibayar dengan upah rendah ya. Tapi sekarang sudah tidak ada lagi program itu, tapi menjadi magang internship untuk mahasiswa atau bekerja sebagai foreign worker. Nah, foreign worker itu tidak boleh kurang dari UMR-nya daerah itu sendiri. Jadi tidak dipekerjakan gitu. Itu dengan adanya P3MI program ini kita mengetahui apakah mereka diperlakukan secara fair atau tidak. Ya. Itu Pak. Ya, mungkin dengan ini seperti telur dengan ayam. Kalau misalnya untuk orang yang bahasa sastra Jepang tidak ada skill. Atau orang yang ada skill tidak bisa bahasa Jepang, jadi mangga palala. Ya mungkin sekian, mungkin kalau misalnya ada pertanyaan menyusul nanti silakan terbuka. Saya bisa nanti share nomor saya. Terima kasih.
Baik, terima kasih Bu Lina atas penyampaian materinya, menarik sekali dan sangat berguna sekali untuk kami semua di sini. Baik Bapak Ibu, saya kira cukup sekian untuk acara hari ini. Namun sebelum saya akhiri, kita berfoto bersama dulu ya Bapak Ibu ya. Untuk sesi pertama, silakan Bapak Dekan, Bapak Wadek, mangga maju ke depan dulu. Sir Matthew, Bu Lina, bisa ke depan. Take a picture first. Baik, terima kasih. Sir Matthew, mesti. Yes. Bapak Ibu peserta, mangga silakan ke depan. Kita foto bersama Bapak Ibu.
Zoom in sedikit. Zoom in aja sedikit. Nice, dadat.
Udah belum? 1, 2, 3. Lagi. 1, 2, 3. Lagi. 1, 2.
Kita belum masuk.
Baik, satu sesi lagi, Sir Matthew untuk panitia.
Okay, sure.